You have a choice. You can let the battle win, or you can fight.
What do you like about Miss Alyssa?
Freeze dance. I like her giving me treats. I'm gonna tell her that I love her. I love her. I love her. I love her. Miss Alyssa is the best.
Scarlett and Wyatt.
Being there is like a second home to me. The kids don't judge. I can take a misstep here or there and no one judges. No one looks twice. It's just Miss Alyssa. It's constant movement, so it's good for my ability to keep moving, and I'm writing, so I'm using all of my abilities that, I might not have in 10 years from now, but I'm using it all to its maximum potential.
I've noticed this year she's really, I think, accepting it and truly starting to love the person that she's becoming.
She has taught them how to spell their names, write their names. They can count. I think they're up to what they count to today, like 70.
Working with the kids, it's a good reminder of living in the moment. I feel like I've also grown a lot of patience.
She's a very special teacher, and she has a true talent with children.
Got grass or concrete?
We'll walk this way to start.
Where's our favorite mouse?
When I'm with my friends, I don't feel like a disabled individual. I just feel like Alyssa. They were who I hung on to when I was first diagnosed and my whole world turned upside down. They were there.
And then I have a disability, so that is why I walk a little slower.
A few weeks ago, me and my friends were going to a local bar, and I took a step in, and the bouncer was 20 feet away and yelled across the bar saying, "No, you are not coming in." And I looked at him and I said, "Well, why is that?" And he said, "Well, obviously you're too drunk to be here." I looked at him and I said, "Well, actually, I'm disabled and I have a medical condition called Ataxia," but he judged me and made that assumption. And then to yell out in front of the entire bar was just embarrassing. I'm not really there to get drunk. I'm there to hang out with my friends, and that's what a typical average 23-year-old does.
I just want her to know she's strong, she can get through anything because I've seen her do it. She doesn't let anything bother her. She's pretty, perfect, skinny, and smart.
She doesn't give up on anything. She's just an amazing character. She's kind, she's funny. She's just the best friend that anyone could really ask for.
I like to win. I don't like to lose. I think that competitiveness does play a role in this battle. I'm kind of stubborn, so I'm also not gonna let this define me or win.
When she first kind of got involved in sports and early, was like second grade or so, she wanted to do everything.
Volleyball,
It's like softball,
soccer,
gymnastics, dance.
basketball. I first knew something was probably wrong my sophomore year of high school, which is when I quit volleyball because I wasn't getting better. I remember coaches saying, "Alyssa, move your feet," and I'm like, I can't. They won't move.
So she would have just turned 18, and we were on a cruise. There was like a challenge on the cruise ship the one day at sea of like a scavenger hunt, and we're just running trying to find all these clues, and she just wasn't able to keep up with us older people and her cousins, and she kept saying, I can't run, I can't run.
And I think she knew something was wrong before she maybe thought it was really serious and brought it to our attention.
I wanted to share my story in honor
My
of
cousin
Rare
stumbled
Disease Day.
across a TikTok of a girl talking about Friedrich's ataxia, and I sounded like her. Her movements were very similar to mine. So I reached out to the girl and did a bunch of research and was pretty certain that's what I had. So I brought up Friedrich's ataxia to my neurologist, and she said, "No, there's no way you have this. I've never diagnosed anyone with it. It affects 1 in 50,000 people." And she basically hinted at me having a vitamin deficiency, but I wanted her to test me for it anyway, so she tested my frataxin levels. Going into that appointment, I was pretty certain I had a vitamin deficiency. Then she closed the door and said, "Your protein frataxin levels are low," and at that moment I knew I was being diagnosed with Friedrich's ataxia. When I heard the diagnosis, all I felt was anger.
I remember driving, we were so excited, we thought, oh, we're gonna find out what's wrong and we're gonna get it fixed. And then leaving that appointment was just the worst day of my life.
The car ride home was silent, except I looked at my mom and I said, "I'm done with school, I'm done with work, I'm done with everything." I feel like it wasn't until 2 years later, when it was getting really bad mentally, I went to therapy, and first thing I said to her was, "I want to accept this. I don't want this to define me." Then I reached out to Sunny, a local Ataxian who's a part of the support group, and asked her to go to a meeting with me. As soon as I walked in, everyone welcomed me with open arms, and I knew this was the right choice.
I remember leaving the meeting feeling just less alone. We're not going through this by ourselves.
FA doesn't just affect me, it affects my sister, my family, my parents, my friends. Everyone around me was affected by this diagnosis.
For me, it's still on my mind a lot, but you just don't worry about it. She's attacking life that way. It seems like every day. I'm living for today, I'll worry about tomorrow. I think that's what makes me the most proud.
Oh, I'm just so proud of her for just keeping fighting. She hasn't given up work, school, friends. She has a good balance. She has a good support system. And we're always going to be here for her.
I want to embrace this side of my identity and not keep it hidden. And it is a part of me, and I want to embrace it. The biggest thing this diagnosis has taught me is to live in the moment. Take that trip. Don't just say no, say yes to whatever it is. Maybe say no to drugs. The future is not guaranteed, but right now is. Dance like no one's watching.
Ooh, Scarlett's got the split.